My fiancée screamed. I'm going to my mom's. Don't follow me. It's over. I replied. Understood. Returned the ring, sold the house we were buying, and moved states. Months later, she reached out to talk things through. I was already settled somewhere new, living a life she no longer had access to. Original post. I, 35 male, had been with Morgan, 32, for 4 years. Engaged for the last 6 months. We were in the middle of buying our first house together. A 3-bedroom colonial in the suburbs with a backyard big enough for the kids we'd vaguely talked about having someday. I'm a physical therapist with my own small practice. She's a real estate agent, which is actually how we met when I was looking for office space years ago. On paper, we made sense. The engagement itself had been rocky from the start. Morgan wanted a big wedding, 200 people, destination venue, the works. I wanted something smaller and more intimate. We compromised on medium-sized, but every planning session turned into a fight. The flowers, the music, the guest list, everything became a battleground. Her mother Barbara got involved in every decision, always siding with Morgan, always making me feel like I was being difficult for having opinions. But the house was supposed to be our fresh start, something that was ours, not her mom's or the wedding planners or anyone else's. We'd put in an offer on this place in February, got accepted, were scheduled to close in April. I'd already given notice at my current office lease, was planning to work from a home office setup until I found new space closer to our new neighborhood. The explosion happened 3 weeks before closing. Morgan had been stressed about a big listing that wasn't moving. Some mansion that had been on the market for months. She was obsessing over it, spending late nights staging and restaging, doing open houses every weekend. I got it. Commission on that place would be huge. So I tried to be supportive, picked up slack around the apartment, didn't complain when she was distracted. But then her ex-boyfriend showed up. His name was Trevor, and apparently he was some hotshot developer Morgan had dated right before me. They'd broken up because he wasn't ready to settle down or commit or whatever the standard story is. He reached out about potentially buying the mansion property she was listing. Needed to see it, discuss possibilities, the usual business stuff. Morgan mentioned this casually, said it was just professional. I said fine, business is business. Didn't think much of it. Then the late showing started. Trevor wanted to see the property at night to check the lighting. Wanted to meet for breakfast to discuss renovation ideas. Wanted Morgan's opinion on architectural plans over dinner. Every interaction somehow required Morgan's undivided attention at weird hours. I brought it up one night when she got home at 11 from another property discussion. This seems like a lot for one potential buyer, I said. He's serious about making an offer. This could be a $200,000 commission for me. I need to make this work. I get that. But does he need to see you at night? Can't you meet during business hours? God, are you seriously doing this right now? Being jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm pointing out that your ex-boyfriend is monopolizing your time and it's affecting us. He's not my ex-boyfriend right now. He's a client. There's a difference. Is there though? That's when she exploded. Started yelling about how I didn't support her career, how I was being controlling, how she couldn't deal with my insecurity on top of everything else. I stayed calm, which made her angrier. You know what? She screamed. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to my mom's. Don't follow me. It's over. She grabbed her purse and keys, stormed toward the door. I was sitting on the couch, looking at her. Understood, I said quietly. She stopped, hand on the doorknob. What? I said understood. You want to leave, leave. She stared at me like she expected me to chase her, to beg her to stay, to say I was sorry for questioning her relationship with Trevor. When I didn't, her face went through several emotions, surprise, anger, then something almost like panic. Fine, she finally said. Fine. She left, slammed the door hard enough to rattle the pictures on the wall. I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, processing. Then I got up and started making calls. First, my real estate lawyer. Left a message saying I needed to talk urgently about backing out of the house purchase. He called back the next morning, asked what was going on. My fiancée and I broke up. I need to know what happens to the house. Both your names on the offer? Yeah, but I'm the only one on the mortgage pre-approval. She was going to be added at closing. Then you can back out. You'll lose your earnest money deposit, but you won't be legally obligated to complete the purchase. What if I don't want to back out? What if I want to buy it without her? He paused. You'd need to re-qualify a loan. Can you handle the mortgage solo? I did the math in my head. My practice was doing well. Without splitting expenses with Morgan, without wedding costs, without her expensive taste in basically everything. Yeah, I could swing it. Actually, never mind. Let's back out. I'll find something else. You sure? Positive. Next, I called the jeweler who'd sold me the engagement ring. $12,000 ring that Morgan had picked out herself, insisted on specific cut and clarity. They had a return policy, 30 days, store credit only. We were at day 48. I called anyway, explained the situation. The guy was sympathetic, said normally he couldn't help, but he'd make an exception. Store credit minus a 20% restocking fee. I took it. Used the credit to buy a nice watch for myself. Something I'd always wanted, but never bought because Morgan said men's watches were a waste of money. Then I started looking at job opportunities in other states. I'd been in Ohio my whole life, same city for 15 years. My practice was established, but not so tied down I couldn't start over. I'd always wanted to live near mountains, maybe Colorado or Montana. Started sending out inquiries to practices out west that might need a physical therapist. Morgan didn't contact me for 3 days. Her mom called first. What did you do to my daughter? Barbara demanded. Nothing. She said it was over and left. I took her at her word. She's devastated. She didn't mean it. Then she shouldn't have said it. You're being childish. She came to cool off, and you should have gone after her. Barbara, with all due respect, I'm not playing games. Morgan screamed that it was over and left. I'm moving forward accordingly. What does that mean? It means I'm moving on. Tell Morgan to collect her things from the apartment. She has 2 weeks. I hung up, blocked Barbara's number. Morgan finally called on day 5. I answered because we did need to sort out logistics. Nathan, she said, voice smaller than I'd ever heard it. Can we talk? What's there to talk about? I didn't mean what I said. I was stressed and angry, and I lashed out. Okay, that's it. What do you want me to say, Morgan? You told me it was over. I believed you. But we're engaged. We're buying a house together. You can't just give up on us because of one fight. We're not buying a house. I backed out of the purchase. Silence. Then, you what? I terminated the contract. Lost the deposit, but I'm out. You can't do that without my permission. Actually, I can. My name was the only one on the mortgage paperwork. Legally, it was my decision. This is insane. Nathan, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. I don't want to fix it. You've spent 6 months fighting with me about every wedding detail. You've spent the last month prioritizing your ex-boyfriend over our relationship. And when I raised a concern, you screamed at me and said it was over. So it's over. But I love you. You love the idea of the life we were building. The house, the wedding, the picture-perfect future. You don't love me. If you did, you wouldn't have left. That's not fair. You have 2 weeks to get your stuff from the apartment. After that, anything left is going to Goodwill. Don't contact me again unless it's about logistics. I hung up, blocked her number 2. Over the next month, things moved fast. I got an offer from a practice in Bozeman, Montana. Small city, gorgeous mountains, completely different from Ohio. The owner was looking to retire in a few years, wanted someone who could eventually buy him out. It was perfect. I gave notice at my current practice, started wrapping up patient care, referring people to colleagues. Sold most of my furniture, packed what I wanted to keep. Morgan collected her things while I was at work one day. Her mom helped, left the key on the counter. Trevor's big mansion deal apparently fell through. He'd been stringing Morgan along, using the property as an excuse to spend time with her, then backed out last minute. I heard this through a mutual friend who thought I'd want to know. I didn't care. Morgan's problems weren't mine anymore. I left Ohio in May, drove across the country with everything I owned in a U-Haul, felt lighter with every mile. Bozeman was incredible. Mountains everywhere, clean air, friendly people who didn't know anything about my failed engagement or canceled house, or any of it. I was just Nathan, the new physical therapist in town. Joined a climbing gym, started hiking every weekend, bought a small condo with a view of the Bridger Mountains. Made friends with people who liked the outdoors as much as I did. Started dating casually, nothing serious, just coffee and hikes with women who seemed genuinely interested in who I was rather than what life we could build together. For months after I left, Morgan found my new number somehow. Called me on a random Tuesday evening while I was making dinner. Nathan? It's Morgan. How did you get this number? I called your old practice. They forwarded me to your new one. I told them it was an emergency. It's not an emergency though, is it? I know. But I really need to talk to you. About what? About us. About what happened. I've been thinking about everything, and I realize I made mistakes. Can we talk things through? Maybe I could visit? We could. No. What? No, you can't visit. No, we can't talk things through. There's nothing to talk through. You made your choice. I made mine. But I made the wrong choice. I see that now. I was scared and stupid and I took you for granted. Probably. But that's not my problem anymore. Nathan, please. I miss you. I miss us. Don't you miss what we had? I looked around my condo. At the climbing gear in the corner. At the photos from last weekend's hike to Fairy Lake. At the life I'd built in 4 months that had nothing to do with wedding planning or real estate deals or Trevor or Barbara or any of it. No, I said honestly. I really don't. How can you say that? We were together 4 years. And in those 4 years, especially the last one, I spent more time fighting with you than enjoying being with you. The engagement made it worse, not better. Leaving was the best decision I've made in years. So that's it. You just moved on. Started over like I never existed. Pretty much, yeah? You told me it was over. I took you seriously. Built a new life. I'm happy here, Morgan. Happier than I was. She was crying now. I can't believe you're doing this. I thought if I gave you time to cool off, you'd come back. That we'd work it out. That was your mistake. I don't play games. You said it was over, so I ended it. Completely. Moved states, changed everything, started fresh. Where are you even living? Somewhere you're not. That's all you need to know. This is cruel. No, this is me taking you at your word and living my life accordingly. Cruel would have been stringing you along, making you think we had a chance when I'd already decided we didn't. I made one mistake. You made a lot of mistakes. The Trevor thing was just the final one. But honestly, Morgan, it doesn't matter anymore. We're done. Have been since you walked out that door. I hope you figure out what you actually want instead of just chasing some perfect idea of a life. Good luck with everything. I hung up, blocked the new number she'd called from. She tried a few more times. Emails, messages through mutual friends, even sent a letter to my old practice that they forwarded. I didn't respond to any of it. Eventually, she stopped. I heard through that same mutual friend that Morgan struggled for a while after I left. Lost a few big clients because she was too distracted. Moved back in with Barbara temporarily. Eventually got her life together. Started dating someone new. Good for her. Me? I bought out my boss's practice last month. Now I own it outright. Started seeing someone seriously, a wilderness guide named Cassidy, who takes me on adventures I never would have considered in Ohio. We've been together 3 months, and she's never once screamed at me or stormed out or played games. When she's upset, we talk about it like adults. When she needs space, she asks for it calmly. When we disagree, we find compromises that work for both of us. It's shockingly easy compared to what I had with Morgan. Sometimes people ask if I regret leaving everything behind so suddenly. Moving states, starting over, walking away from a 4-year relationship. My answer is always the same. No. Morgan told me it was over. I simply had the courage to believe her and act accordingly. Best decision I ever made.